on this chair.
Ongli.
Hi guys, how are you all feeling after the breaking news of Ferrari?
It's one
getting
weekend to another that Ferrari's screwing up with our mental state.
Yeah, what is wrong?
It's very bad. But I think it's stupidity that they did not check for the skateboard.
Yeah.
It's technically their plan D. More than C.
It was also really bad for Williams. They forgot to put the SD card.
Oh yeah, they got what
50,000
50,000
fine.
Yeah.
That was so dumb.
How would they do that?
I think they must be like panicking and like haven't you realized that the first race and this race both were extremely panicking. Like the person who actually forgot to put the SD card must be fired, I think.
I'm sure.
50,000 no, uska yearly salary is cancelled.
Yearly salary plus allowance is gone.
अब तो पूरा season free में कर.
Even the freight not getting delivered.
Yeah.
There were 4 cars that were not delivered.
Yeah, and top 4 teams can be delivered.
The SD card must be coming in that.
ये वो घूम गया. Silly mistakes, man. I thought it's gonna be a silly season, but there are silly mistakes.
Silly
all over the
mistakes
season.
happening, yeah. Even the pit strategies today were so silly. Like
But
we
I'm
should be
surprised.
better strategists.
I'm
Apparently, because we were thought like, "अरे ये क्यों किया वो क्यों किया?" Like we are the one who could actually do it.
But the pit stops were really good. Strategies were bad, but the pit stops were really nice and quick.
Clean, yeah. Nobody fucked up.
No. The first pit stops, the initial ones.
Red Bull was slow.
Red Bull was slow,
3.2.
and same time, yeah, even McLaren 3.2.
Yeah.
So they had slow ones out there, which.
But the average pit stop today was around 2.5. It was
Uh,
not 1
2.5
second
was
pit
the
stops.
fastest.
Yeah, they were not 1
No,
second.
no,
pit
2.3
stops.
was the fastest, not 2.5. There was with Ferrari. Fastest pit stop was by Ferrari.
No wonder they didn't have any weight only in the car.
Axel Italian. 1 kilo का फर्क.
But fun fact time of the day for the Chinese Grand Prix. Michael Schumacher's last win in Formula 1 was in Shanghai.
Really?
Yeah, his 91st win in 2006.
So Hamilton picked it up very left. With sprint though, but still
Yeah.
not bad. Not bad.
How did you like the sprint? Did you like the sprint?
It was amazing, right?
Was it fast?
I was actually very happy for Hamilton because of his father. I'm a fan of Anthony Hamilton.
Achha, so he should start
So
racing.
he
not
should
Hamilton.
start racing. But you know the cute part about the sprint end when they told Hamilton that he's P1 and everything, and he giggled so cutely. It was like a child when
That was
first
with the
race.
qualies, right?
No,
Yeah, that was the qualies, yeah. Santiago.
Yeah,
That was the qualies.
when they told him you're P1, the way he giggled was so cute, and then they cut to Anthony Hamilton, and I'm like, okay, that's cute. I'm a fan of Anthony Hamilton.
But he deserves it. I believe he really deserves it, and he felt it. Sitting in that car, sitting in the Ferrari colors and everything, and he got the win. So he also said that he feels good because he saw the fans react.
Yeah.
He has a good fan following in China. as well.
He does.
And everyone accepted his move to
Yeah.
Ferrari, so that
Yeah.
was like a plus.
Today there was a whole grandstand of 44 flags everywhere. Like it was literally like a 44 grandstand.
It's always there. It's always been there. Yeah. It's been there since the Mercedes
Did you just say
days.
44? I
Yeah.
thought not 33. Oh shit.
Tell me they
I'm not
have a
33, I'm
fan-
number 1.
They don't have a stand over there.
Just shut up, I'm number 1. It's
Still no
always
stand.
orange. Wherever you go, there's orange flag
Yeah,
everywhere.
but
That means
thanks
it's
to the
not
papaya
just-
colors.
Overconfidence to another level.
I mean, somewhere down the line, even Verstappen is being a fan. Yeah, of course. Touch orange, everything.
But Hamilton, as Hamilton,
Hamilton again, second podcast again.
Changing it.
I don't know why Max is actually carrying Red Bull on his back alone since last season. I read this crazy stat where it said that since Qatar 2024, all the points that Red Bull has scored till now is only Max.
I think they should remove the second car.
Yeah, why they care?
Saving costs on that. They can invest into a new aerodynamic officer.
There could be like 2 half teams, like one driver each. They could give someone else another chance.
Give it to another team only.
100%.
They should remove the baby team. Let some other team come in. And just take one driver from RB. Put them with B-car driver. That's it.
I think Lawson is just there to test strategies that they can use on Max.
So basically you're saying Red Bull has 2 test drivers. One on track, one off track.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a guinea pig.
Lawson वैसे भी आज pit lane में ही था पूरा दिन. Today, when we were coming, we went to 3 petrol pumps, and I told him I feel like I'm Lawson. I'm going to every petrol pump coming out.
Oh, but okay, don't be so harsh on him. Somewhere down the line, give him that okay, from the last he's come to 16th at least.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be there in Japan.
Yeah, he'll be there. He'll be there.
In these
They
conditions.
they should, as per what motorsports.com says, they should give Yuki the chance for sure.
Yeah, that was his home
and
run.
that's
It's
his home
deserving.
Grand Prix.
It's deserving for him.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think if Honda's gonna push them to try and do it.
Yeah, but Honda's not even like there in Red Bull from next year. They're in Aston
This is the last
Martin.
year.
So yeah,
They might.
they should. I mean, like even if it's not about Honda, I think Yuki has proved himself in the first two races. He knows that he's doing well, and but then also this Max Verstappen statement, which I told you about yesterday. Remember, he said that Red Bull is really difficult to drive right now.
Yeah.
And even if Yuki comes, I don't know if he's actually going to, like he didn't say about Yuki, I am saying. But even if Yuki comes, you never know if he'll actually be able to drive.
But if
the
you go to
Red Bull.
see, he has better experience than Lawson.
Yeah, that's true. That's the only reason why they should be.
Exactly, because they don't have, they have Hajar after that.
Yeah.
He has not have any experience with such a messed up car.
Mm.
Yuki's the only one who can score some points.
Yeah.
He's 9 or 10
Yeah.
position in races.
That's the least we require
Yeah.
right now from a second driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because Red Bull's falling down.
Yeah.
It's on rank 5 now.
Constructors, though, no
Okay.
chance.
Constructors is no chance.
Constructors
no.
Mercedes been constant and consistent in terms of Russell, again 2 races P3, but Kimi scoring some points, so that adds up. Ferrari did that, but unfortunately got disqualified this Grand Prix, but they are also in points. So when you accumulate all of that, for constructors, I believe Red Bull is completely.
It's only one man scoring.
Yeah.
That too, it's either two people.
I've heard during the race so many times, every time there was someone who used to lap Lawson or someone who used to go just be there and here he crosses the New Zealander. I'm like, I felt so bad.
Dude, they even did point out that majority of the yellow flags were out because of Lawson. But this was the first time there was a yellow flag with Lawson racing in it.
Oh shit, Alex Drinks only must have
Yeah, 100%. He's become
Alex
savage.
Drinks is too good.
He's become
at
savage
it.
now.
Yeah, he's like not caring. He's fucking with the drivers left, right, and center. I'm loving his commentary. Alex Drinks.
10,000.
For what? Fine.
Nothing.
By the way, let me say, Lando has abused, and there is no fine. Hamilton abused last race, and there is no fine.
Okay, so
I
that means you're
swear.
allowed?
Where is the fine? No, where is
I'm
the
charging
fine?
it.
When
I'm gonna
Verstappen
send you a
will
bill.
abuse, Verstappen will abuse in the next race, and suddenly it will be news of the world. Fine, no, fine. Verstappen.
I to feel it is the Red Bull is acting right now. I don't know whatever the problem might be. I'm sure there is problems in the cars, but Red Bull honestly is working more on Max's car than Lawson's car. I to have a very big feeling it's like it's your own child and an adopted child.
I don't think it's
It's always been
that.
the case, but in other words, if you put it in where they had just one practice session, one sprint quali, sprint, and then quali, and then race. So whatever they learned in the sprint was implemented on the qualis for the main race and the race. And I think Max gives a better input compared to Lawson, so they could work better on his car.
Yeah, but that is, I believe that's the point, that it's always been there because Max also has that much of experience. Lawson doesn't have the experience, agreed, but at the same time, the team that's working on Lawson's car and they should be able to do it.
But they might be doing it. Now, who's telling you that they're not doing on Lawson's car? Lawson is not being able to perform. Don't tell me that they're only working on one car when they know that the other car needs more hard work. Max
They
will.
might be working
Yeah.
110%.
It's not possible that
It's just that he
they-
doesn't have the capacity to drive the car the way Max does.
And they know that even if they don't work on Max's car, I'm not saying that he'll come on podium, he will still get points.
Yeah,
He
he's
is-
top 10.
He will definitely come in points. It's impossible that he
When?
will
At
not
the end
come
of the
in
season?
points. When has Max not been in points? It's only when he's
No,
DNF.
Lawson also.
Lawson, though, I'm not. I don't like him only now. Like,
I think
he's
This was
Talking
probably a
about
pure
Lawson.
example of Albon, where he couldn't perform in Red Bull. As
Yeah.
soon as he was sent to AlphaTauri that time,
Yeah.
started performing.
Yeah.
This is going to be the same case with Lawson.
And also, as per the attitude scenario, I really believe that Lawson has to be much more respectful or maybe little more subtle, where he needs to learn things rather than. He did say in the interview that he's gonna, he's not here to make friends. He's just gonna be aggressive to get the points and everything, which is also in a way wrong because you already have in a team an alpha male, and there's this other person who comes with this kind of an attitude. So it's a very big clash in behavior and everything. Totally.
What about the Racing Bulls?
Racing Bulls were good.
So good.
They were really good.
Just like.
They need to work on their strategy.
Yeah.
More than strategy, I think just the reliability of the car. Well, looking at
Yeah,
Yuki's
bad
game,
night for
Yeah.
Yuki.
Yeah, he was going pretty good.
Yeah.
Strategy was a little messed up, but they were going pretty good. Yuki
Yeah.
was covering up places. He was overtaking well.
Yeah.
But just after that turbulent air hitting the front wing and then just dismantling on its own, that was just shitty.
Yeah. But good for Hajar, man. I was so scared for him.
Yeah, started
Because,
performing.
yeah, I really liked him in F2. And then when the whole fiasco happened last year in Australia, last race in
Last
Australia,
weekend.
yeah, the last weekend, I was like, it's such a thing that your confidence can go down. You might fumble again and again, but good one. I think the entire weekend he was good.
He was consistent.
Yeah, he was.
Needed that boost enough. Somewhere down the line, these rookies, maybe after 4 or 5 races, will actually get much more better. But top of the rookie, of course, what I see is this 17-year-old kid, 18 now,
Yeah.
Kimi, very consistent, getting great points as a second racer for the team.
He was 18 points, right?
Yeah. So
Hamilton.
yeah, he's
1 point ahead.
1 point ahead,
And now the Hamilton got disqualified.
So, yeah, it's gonna be much
much more higher,
Yeah.
much more higher. Haas,
Haas was a surprising element
Haas
with Oli
is-
Bevan.
Yeah.
He went crazy.
Why-
Oli had this one consistent move for overtakes at the corners,
Yeah.
and it was very nice.
Yeah,
He was
Smooth.
He was doing it very
Smooth.
He was nailing it perfect.
Yeah, very clean, confident, and like out there. And I like the thing he said. Like he has this mix of his personality also when he's around. Like the chow that he was doing, very
Yeah.
cute, very kiddish. Not kiddish, but like he's having fun doing it. It was
That's what matters, right? When you're enjoying what you do,
yeah.
it does matter.
And again, good points in the second race itself. Again with Haas, is some scored good points, which is very good. So Haas did well. Kimi as a rookie did well. Isaac started getting a little bit boost in confidence, doing fairly fine. No clue yet about what's happening with Kick Sauber.
Kickstarter, I think it's on a downward spiral.
What?
And they need good practice sessions before every race to set their car up. And this time they did not, so it was evident.
And I also feel China is such a track that you need to know how to manage your
Yeah.
tires. And I think both, not I wouldn't
Yeah,
say
everyone managed their tires today.
Sauber probably did not. That's why they, like even with Bortoletto, I think because he's so new. That's why I said with Hülkenberg, sure I understand that he's been in the game, but he had a very bad start.
Yeah.
He lost around 7 places because he like locked up in the first
Nico, right?
stint,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
he went wide, so he lost places.
Yeah.
And with Bortoletto, I think he just didn't know how to manage those
It's a very
corners.
challenging circuit for all the rookies,
Yeah.
honestly. Because, again, it's got the first turn is anyways such a long turn. It's, I think somewhere around 270 degrees turn. You have to manage it properly. You've seen all the drivers throughout the weekend going for an oversteer, getting a counter correction done on the steering. You could just see that, and it was difficult to manage the pace over there. And for rookies, I think it's for the first time they're driving there with such a powerful car. It's difficult. I think they did a good job over there. I think Isaac Hadjar was the one who tried taking the outside line to overtake Jack Doohan. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very gutsy.
Same time, but I genuinely had a feeling, I wanted it to happen. Alpine to perform. It didn't.
Pierre did kind of. He did
Pierre did a little.
he defended
but
that.
Not like the last
performance
race.
got disqualified.
Yeah.
That was another shitty part. Plus, Doohan getting 10 seconds
Penalty.
He got 2 penalty points and another penalty for the sprint also. I think Doohan is in a thing where he's like, I'm trying, I'm trying to prove that I'm worth at least keeping for one season because he's so much under pressure from Flavio that I might be out in the next 2-3
He's
races.
just trying to keep the car on the track for when he's going on heavy braking. He's just not able to brake well, not finding a great balance on the brake. So because of that, he pushed Hadjar out. Right?
Yeah.
That was really going extra aggressive, which
Yeah.
is not needed. He just needs to find the balance to go aggressive when needed, to defend when needed.
Probably, but there was a time in the race where I felt like what just happened because you see Lance Stroll as third. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, how did Lance manage his tires for so many laps?
Was well done.
By not going too aggressive anywhere, I think he was just maintaining his position.
Yeah.
He wasn't going for overtakes, he wasn't defending much.
Came in points,
Yeah.
no? Stroll came in points.
No, he did not. Because they pit
It's
him
track.
so late.
I know.
Ah.
So towards the end, everyone was preserving their tires, fired them up. So everyone was going for a quicker time. And his medium did not stay
Yeah.
that long.
But something's wrong with Aston Martin.
You have jinxed a lot. So
The
just
last
shut
place you
up.
did.
Alonso.
You were a bodyguard, now he's been a watchman of the pit. More than a bodyguard in the midfield.
But good for Lance. Like I was really, it's like finally he's grown. He doesn't
Yeah.
have that tag anymore that he can't drive, and he's just like a
I
rich.
think because you have a lot of other people who are taking his tag. Lawson. Doing.
Yeah.
These two are taking his tag.
So if you're gonna have like 2-3 people, these are of course gonna come out. No?
He's the senior in that department.
Yeah, he is.
Stroll
He's the
is the
OG.
senior.
Rookies, damages, performing like a non-driver, and everything. Yeah, Stroll's good.
When they're done that, baap ko mat sikha.
But I'm happy for Stroll. Like today he really.
He actually picked up the team.
He did.
He tried to get into the points. Surprisingly, dono race, Stroll finished it.
Yeah,
but
and
Alonso
did.
did not.
Yeah.
That was the most surprising part.
Talking about Alonso, like, see, he's obviously a great driver and all of that. But do you think that with an Adrian Newey car also next year, he's going to live up to expectations?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you think he's going to be that aggressive? And he still has it.
110%. He's very hungry to get another world title. I'm sure it's going to be very difficult for him to compete against the rest of the field. But as Adrian Newey coming in, developing the car, this guy is the best to give a driver a perspective about all the developments. He's the most experienced one. He's the most aggressive driver you can come on the grid. He's more aggressive than Max ever is and was. So yeah, that's going to be a very good direction for Aston to keep him for one more year at least to develop the car properly.
And see him probably in the top 7.
110.
If he performs really well with the new car next season, probably he's into the top 7.
But top 7 is not a position I think that AM wants.
Of course,
AM first has to work, start
It has
working
to-
towards
yeah.
being on the top of midfielders, then coming to the first top 3 and or top 4.
But I think by that time it will be too late for Alonso. You know, like if you're waiting for another 3 years to become like a top 3
I don't
team, and then
think-
after that,
I don't think Alonso knows for a fact that he's not going to get a world title, but he's still going to keep trying. Right?
of course.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
But
that
for how
might
many
happen.
years are we gonna like? You
Couple
know,
of years, I think you can see Alonso. After that, even he's going to retire.
Maybe 2 years more. 2
Do
seasons
you think
more.
he can be world champion again?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I really don't think so. He might win a couple of races,
Yeah.
but
Not
not
a
a world
champion.
champion
World
anymore
champion.
because he has a lot of contenders. You have Piastri coming up, you have Norris as the biggest contender right now, Lewis being at his hungriest to get the 8th title, Max always being the hungry one. You have these 4 big names over there.
Charles also.
Charles, now again, it's gonna be a if and but
Yeah.
because he's overshadowed by Lewis right now. It's a contemplating thing where Ferrari has one driver who's a 7-time world champion, and the other driver is the one who's been given the longest contract by Ferrari till date.
Yeah. But
So
he's
they
like,
don't know who to give a preference to.
But he's like Charles is like Ferrari's boy at this point.
That's
Like,
true. He's Ferrari's boy, but Hamilton's someone who's gonna take Ferrari up.
yeah. And Hamilton is like the world's boy. Like everybody loves Hamilton.
Like if you come to motorsport, I think the way back in the day when Beckham got football to the world,
Yeah.
I think Hamilton got Formula 1 to the world.
True. I agree.
He's gotten that fan following, he's gotten that awareness.
Mm.
So I think it's going to be a difficult time in Ferrari for this.
Mm.
Be it anybody, whichever the contender is, I still believe there's a good chance because of whatever's been happening in any of the teams. I don't know how, but some or the other way, it's a miracle that happens. But I feel Russell can be a great contender.
Norris and Piastri, let's fight. Ferraris, let's choose. Russell will be like, okay, no
Only
side.
he knows what he said right now. Like you used all the words you know in one sentence.
Yeah, but I believe it's going to be Russell.
He doesn't know what we're talking. So
Russell.
cute, yeah. Boy, just so cute.
Russell. Russell's showing his muscle.
What about Lando's sprint? What happened to Lando in the sprint?
I think braking issues. As
Why
usual.
couldn't he overtake Lance? He overtook Lance in the
I
last
think
lap.
He was complaining about not getting the full pace out of the car at that time.
Yeah.
And I think he messed up with the braking on the 4th turn,
Fifth,
yeah.
I think 5th, right? He went too wide,
Right,
he went
yeah.
off the road to save himself getting into the back of Russell.
Mm.
So I think that was a game changer for him. But it's
If
pretty
Lando
bad.
does all these little mistakes that he does, and you all consider Lando a better driver than Oscar, or you all want him to be a champion before Oscar does, do you think that this year Oscar has a chance to become world champion?
Right now, 2 races, it's 1-1. All right, you
It's a
can't
50%
say
chance, but I would still incline a little towards Lando.
Lando. I believe that is going to happen once a couple of races get done, even though they are 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. McLaren will choose.
I think last time when we spoke about Nico Rosberg and Hamilton era coming back, it's going to be the same thing. Where
Yeah.
Lando and Piastri are going
That is not needed. What they need is something like a Hamilton-Bottas relation.
I doubt it.
But see, Oscar comes from, Oscar is under Mark Webber. You know, he is being
One of the
trained.
reservoirs.
Yeah, he is being trained by him, and I don't think Mark Webber is going to allow Oscar to be driver number 2 for the second year in the same team when he knows that he is worth being world
I
champion.
think
But-
it's going to be on merit itself.
Yeah.
That clarity will come in the first 10 races. You'll be 110%. See, right now, out of everything, other teams checking their cars, upgrading their cars, still not being able to balance, get the performance and everything. McLaren has picked up from where they left
Yeah, obviously.
from the last
They're
season.
going good.
They're going way good. So right now, when both of them are neck to neck, 1-1, more races, we'll see whatever is going to happen. And that's a very clear-cut shot. See, first of all, they'll be more than happy as McLaren as a team that, okay, firstly, we are procuring our constructors. Now, when it's for the racers, let's see. If, for example, Piastri is somewhere around 5-6 races, he's won first. He's at the top. And Orlando, they will wait it up and they will then do what they did last time also. So it is, the chance right now is equal because both their cars are properly performing. There's no issues. Strategy wise, they are still 99.5% there. Little mistakes here and there, that's fine, but they've actually picked up from where they left. And that's the only reason why McLaren 1-2 can be consistent throughout this season. Unless until there's a big blunder.
I think either it's going to be a big blunder or other teams catching up.
Yeah.
Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull catching up. It's a high possibility.
Red Bull, though, I have no hope only now with the second driver situation that we
I think
have.
more
But
than the second
Mercedes,
driver
Ferrari-
situation, if the car is upgraded well and they're back in their game, they are going to give a fight.
Max Shaw will give a fight.
Both the drivers will be giving a fight. At least the second driver can come around P5, P6.
Yeah, I
That's
hope so.
as well a good points for them.
Because that's where Max is now. I think like he himself is expecting to be 4-5 in every race. But
I think that's a big impact of Adrian Newey going.
yeah, it is. I think more than that, there's a lot of power dynamics in Red Bull in general. It gives a very toxic vibe that they're not happy in the kind of environment they're working in. That even if they have the best engineers, sometimes it's Helmut Marko saying stuff that
Chacha and Marco is crazy.
Imagine if they're saying so much in public, what must be happening in the headquarters of Red Bull?
I think it's not a good environment. It's not a happy environment.
It is not.
The reason why I like McLaren again, they have a nice happy chill environment.
Yeah.
Background
Yeah.
reading that crazy rules, the papaya rules and everything. It's been pretty good.
True.
I think Haas has become better now with the
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah.
Gunther's left, no?
With
That's
no
why.
abuses.
Forget the abuser, he was like the one who couldn't take decisions.
He was
Yeah.
very frustrated. He was
He was-
always frustrated.
He couldn't focus and get more ideas or be efficient
Yeah.
as a team principal.
And I think as a team principal, he was always someone who would not own up to his mistakes. He was always blaming other people. Like, if you don't do this, then I'm sorry, I might have to fire you. You know, that's not how you kind of.
But that is the biggest change from the Gunther era, Haas, and this time. The new principal, team principal, at least with every time there was something that Oli would do, for example, overtake and everything. She send out a radio message and appreciate. Those little 2% boosts also, those 2 words,
Yeah.
they help you.
Motivating.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Which is not done here.
Yeah.
Which was not done in a lot of other teams. Every now and then, again, I believe today also, the communication between Ferrari and the engineers. I'm like,
Ferrari guys are, I think they've been told this is the textbook for the race, this is what you're supposed to tell the drivers, no matter when you say it, but you have to say it.
Yeah.
Convey the message.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very
Horrible.
textbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not someone who adapt to the new generation of drivers or how they want to adapt.
And I think, again, Alex Jakes in the commentary. So, when I think Charles Leclerc's race engineer tells him that, okay, you're losing out time to Verstappen, you should not take the curbs. Charles Leclerc goes no.
No.
Straight up. And Alex G is behind there. He's like, you are not supposed to be not that confident while you're telling your driver
Yeah.
that you're supposed to take a different line, or you're supposed to change your braking, or your speed into the corner, or speed exiting the corner. You have to be confident in your own suggestion, and the race engineers are not.
Yeah.
Ferrari race engineers are like, यार ये try कर ले अगर हुआ तो ठीक है.
Yeah. What about Oscar breaking the record? That was cool,
Surprising.
I think.
That was
yeah, it
surprising.
was cool.
Because a day before that, Hamilton broke the
Hamilton
record.
Yeah.
So now Oscar breaks it.
It's that
Domino
experiment.
effect also.
Yeah, domino. It's like the lab experiment between the rats. You know, when another alpha male comes in, the other alpha male also spikes up,
Yeah.
and then they want to do it.
Alpha male is this new word you learned.
I know.
कल से
पहली
alpha male
सीधा है.
10 बार बोल दिया तेरा.
Alpha female, guys. Projekt Podium.
PP बढ़िया.
Alpha male. कहाँ से alpha male तो बता.
दो
You
बैठे
learn
हैं
to
तेरे
that
साथ.
random ना तो हाँ उसको भी.
दो बैठे हैं तेरे साथ.
अरे लेकिन तू सीखा कहाँ से? बैठे तो पहले से.
Who taught you alpha male?
What?
No,
Who
no.
taught you alpha male?
I was actually watching Daddy's Home. And they were doing
Which
this
one?
experiment, first one.
अच्छा.
Where he takes him for the clinic and like, oh.
I knew that you picked up alpha male. He came only with this. Today I will use this new word I've learned from TV.
So,
Such a woman thing.
See.
It's like I can.
I think we'll introduce him with C, alpha male.
see.
Did you all see how Bono called Anthony Hamilton?
Yeah.
No, I missed that one.
So
On
yeah,
some radio message, he was giving some information. After that, Lewis, oh sorry, kill me.
copy that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he said copy that.
Yeah, copy
Lewis,
that,
Yeah,
Lewis.
and then he's like, sorry.
And Kimmy's like, yeah, I'm scoring more than him. But okay.
Filling in his shoes. In a way.
I love how we have so many fights going on in the midfield. I first remember when they used to broadcast the race, it was always like the top 5 teams that they used to show us in general. But now it's like top 5 are not shown till the last 5 laps, and it's the entire grid that is literally fighting so much. There's so much drama happening that they're just like splitting cameras between so many teams right now.
And there are
It's
2 or 3
insane.
overtakes happening together.
Yeah,
And it's
like the
pretty
midfield is super wild at this point.
No, it's a very simple thing. If you're considering this season midfield, first second को छोड़ दो, last second को छोड़ दो, उसके बाद पूरा ही midfield है.
Yeah.
Everyone from third to the 18th, everyone's there,
Yeah.
literally. And first, second, of course, McLaren being consistent. Last, Lawson. Second last can be anyone from Sauber or yeah,
18, 19, 20 is.
Sauber and Lawson. Yeah. When once that is done, then you have all of them, and you cannot place them anywhere. I was expecting in today's race, very honestly, Sainz to perform. Still couldn't because of the car.
And I was surprised to see Oli coming up
Yeah.
so well.
Even Ocon.
Ocon, yeah.
Ocon.
Ocon as
Ocon
well.
as well.
7th.
Correct.
That's insane. 7th and a half. And then also Ocon, who was literally kicked out in the last race last season.
I've always seen like Aston coming in 13, 14, 15, 16 majorly, which is still a little that place which whenever I see those numbers I'm like Aston will be there.
Yeah.
But somewhere down the line, okay, Aston did perform today. Whatever happened, but then they still performed. They were up and down. Haas came up, both the cars in top 10. Alpine somewhere down the line still figuring it out, but they're doing it. So I believe from 3rd to 18th or 17th is midfield.
Yeah, that's true.
Towards the end of the race, towards the last laps, someone or the other just takes some very aggressive moves and overtakes and goes ahead.
It was a very
Somehow.
very unpredictable last laps these days.
Yeah.
It's
When
like
you're
you're
okay, last 5 laps you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the race.
Yeah.
It feels like you're sleeping till the end moment, but all of a sudden you wake up like, oh shit, I have to do something.
Yeah.
And
And everyone's just preserving their tires for the last 5 laps and then going crazy on them.
Today Max did a good job. I know you don't like Max, but you
He
have
did,
to
he
agree
did.
that he
Yeah,
did a
he did
good
a good
job.
job.
With-
He was maintaining the
Yeah.
tire life
Yeah.
throughout. He was going good with his pace.
see, till the time he doesn't come first every now and then we like him.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, but let's be serious about the fact that his tire management was insane today, and the last 5
I'll
laps
agree
he
to that.
really caught up.
You
And
guys replace the tires.
gosh, भगवान करे एक दिन
टायर
टायर
उठा
उठा
के
के
वो
वो
वाला
वाला
काम
काम रिप्लेस करना
कुछ भी
पड़ेगा।
चलेगा, कुछ
10
भी
सेकंड का
चलेगा।
स्टॉप आना वाला है।
हाँ।
मैं मैक्स की स्पॉट था भी बन जाऊंगी।
स्पॉट खाता.
कुछ भी I want a tire Raki. I want him to be my older brother. I want like a brother that
You want Max to be your brother. That's why you're so obsessed with Max.
चांस
Dude,
का
I'm doubting
दे
you.
दो। No,
I want
not happening.
I want
I'm
Max to
doubting
be
you.
my brother. I want
See?
some like really nice person, you know, not person but
As a
like,
brother figure in life.
yeah. I want him to be my brother figure. Like I feel that he will motivate me to do a lot of things in life, and he will like push me forward. And
Red Bull and their fans have literally lost.
They've lost it. They've gone crazy. I think just one car performing, they've gone crazy.
Yeah.
They need that.
From
two car
having like a crush on him to become like bhaiya
I
bन
never
गया.
had a crush on Max.
Oh, shut up.
No, I always
Couple
had a
of
crush
years
on
back.
Daniel.
Couple of years back, you
No,
already
I
had it.
always had a crush on Daniel Ricciardo. What are you saying? I never had a crush on Max Verstappen. I always loved him as a driver.
You cried when you were about to see Max Verstappen.
Yeah,
at-
because I loved him as a driver. I don't have a crush on him. I didn't.
You love him as a driver.
Yeah.
Judging me.
That's your problem if you don't like him. You don't like him because of the fucking 2021 fiasco. you know?
Obviously.
Yeah, so that's a very.
Actually, Max wasn't the one to be blamed about that.
Yeah, what did he do? Yeah, he got the last lap, and I feel okay. That's not even a conversation we should
Yeah.
have right now, and I feel that it was like a very. He was just put in this situation that he took advantage of, you know. And of course, I understand if the same thing happened with Max, even I would hate Lewis today. Anyway, I love how there's been so much panic in the two races
Yeah.
that we've seen till now. Like our adrenaline in general is so much while seeing the race that it's.
But I think it's a good thing. These kind of races were long gone. Like at least for 4-5 years, we never saw such races.
Mm.
Since the last half of last year and start of this year, it's been crazy.
But I'll tell you what, more than the race, I was more excited when I was seeing the sprint. Did anyone feel something like that? I was more
Honestly
like,
speaking, I missed out on it.
no, I was more into the sprint than the race.
No, I think I was more into the race. I think the sprint was a clear-cut Hamilton not making any mistake, Max not making any mistakes. Apart from that, nothing really happened. Except I feel that Lawson was extremely aggressive in the sprint. Uske alawa, there was like all the drivers were pretty safe, same position, overtakes 1-2, but there was not. They didn't
Massive
have too
change,
much time to do anything.
Well, what I can't understand very simply is when you've done 19 laps in sprint on the same track, all right, and then you come for the race. At that particular time, these midfield players, the rookies or whatever, you already got a pretty good testing in and around of the circuit, especially even with the qualies and the practices and everything. But the climate or the conditions that change, as soon as something happens, everything for them starts.
But that's the thing, you learn with every lap you're out there. So that helps in gathering all the data, getting the car's balance right. And that's when the car actually performs. And none of these guys ever got the chance to run on the hard run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in the race today.
Yeah.
So and they all realized that that's the actual tire to go for. And that's why everyone stuck to that one stop.
Except Hamilton. I don't know why.
Why did they call him in?
Yeah, what the hell?
And he would have
happened?
fended off Max with that pace that he had. He could have
Yeah.
easily defended Max. But I don't know why did they just
Why
call him.
did
I
they?
think to cover up and overcut.
Or maybe they thought that everyone is going to go for a two-pit
Russell
strategy.
and Piastri were sure
Were
that they
sure
were
they were
going
not
to go on
doing
one stopper. And if
Yeah.
Piastri is winning, Norris would be not
Yeah.
losing position.
Yeah.
He would stick to that.
Yeah.
Bunch of fun Max.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't let Hamilton not pit.
They probably must have thought giving him fresher rubber would help him,
But he did not have
really
that time. He had what, 16 laps to go?
I think lesser than that.
16 laps. I think it was around 16 or 17 laps to go. And he had to cover up a time of 20 seconds.
I think that was not needed.
That was
Yeah.
that was
Then he
very
did cover
bad.
up to a gap of 2 seconds to Leclerc.
Mm.
Again, it's not possible.
But Russell has been extremely impressive, huh? Like consistent, of
He's
course.
third.
But
He's not been making mistakes. I was
Yeah,
surprised about that.
and
Otherwise,
he's-
under pressure, he would always make mistakes while braking.
He's probably now learnt, and somewhere down the line now he's got
That responsibility
Toto,
to-
yeah, and
Yeah.
Toto has become like his father figure now. He's like, first it was for Hamilton, now Toto's for him, and he's also realized I am the senior driver. I'm taking care of someone who's way young.
I think my favorite part about today was definitely the passive-aggressive radios we had. Because all drivers were just saying no to their team principals for everything.
When we are doing our race, you shut the fuck up.
Yeah. But I mean,
They should switch it off. I swear.
I think they should all communicate between themselves. All the
Yeah.
drivers.
Yeah.
तो ये मेरे को ये पका रहा है, तू क्या कर रहा है बता?
सुनना भी आगे जाने देना प्लीज 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 जान देना.
But I mean, all in all, the race today was pretty like meh. Like it was nice, but it was
It was not too crazy happening
Yeah.
the way Melbourne was.
yeah,
But it was good to see all the drivers perform.
yeah.
They were trying their best to keep the cars between the white lines,
Yeah.
or at least that few turns, but they were going pretty.
But you know, the start of the season, one proper race and one sprint and race. I guess the third race that we're gonna have,
Japan.
which should be very exciting, and it comes with a gap.
Yeah.
So the car should get the proper amount of time for any kind of upgrades, which can also be tested to see if that is the perfect final piece they need, or they just scrap that out.
Yeah.
I believe Japan would be the real testing grounds.
And Japan is a crazy track. I
I
love
that
Suzuka.
track. I love Suzuka as well. And it's gonna be very technical and good. I want to see how the rookies perform.
Japan, they're saying might be chances with rain.
Today also they said class 1 rain, no rain.
Half.
Half rain, yeah.
Half rain. Class
Class
half.
3 rain is a scam, class half rain is a scam, and Japan
1 and 2
is
is crazy. But Japan, you never know. It's again an unpredictable weather there. They might, if they get a good dry track to test their cars, they're gonna perform. Everyone's, I think, gonna perform.
Yeah.
That is going to be one of the very competitive, and that is where I believe even pole position won't matter.
Yeah.
It's about just keeping your position and not making mistakes.
Yeah. And good strategy calls, of course.
Obviously, that goes without saying. I think everyone has been screwing up their strategies here and there, but they all learn it from it.
And also, the teams need to sit down thoroughly with a good gap and think how to communicate.
I think the
Communicate. They need someone who's a relationship therapist. How to have better communication with your partner.
I think Bonington could be one. He can be a therapist. He knows how to communicate.
Yeah.
Dudley is good.
GP for
GP
sure.
for sure because he could
100%.
take Max's
Yeah.
tantrums and everything.
Yeah.
I think these three can lead this whole propaganda.
Yeah. Okay, so for the last segment, I asked my people on Instagram a question,
What
and
is
I'm
it?
going to read it out. I remember this time. Which drivers are going to be in top 3 after 10 races,
Okay.
like in points?
Okay.
So the answers are Max, Lando, Russell.
Max?
I don't think Russell he might be right at. Lando he might be. Max I don't think he's going to be in the top place this year. At least for the first 10 races.
Hamilton और चार्ल्स का नाम भी नहीं ले गए जिन्हें चुप हो जाओ.
I was feeling.
Norris, Piastri, Verstappen. Not
Verstappen.
Norris,
sure.
Piastri,
Verstappen.
Verstappen, no other two, yeah.
3? P3 is Russell.
Come
Let's
on.
establish that.
Wait.
Let's establish that.
Max, Lando, Charles or George. Charles, I don't think in
No.
10 races तो no. अभी तो बेचारा disqualify भी हो
Yeah,
गया.
no. George? Yeah.
Josh for sure.
Max, Lando, yeah. No, Max, no. Lando, yeah.
Lando, Norris, Max and George. Oh, Hamilton, Oscar, Lando or Max. Hamilton तो P1 I don't
P1
think.
it's difficult in the
Yeah.
top 10, but he might even catch up to P3. That's like the wildest part, to be very honest.
So someone has said that I'm pretty confident it's going to be Lando, Max, Oscar.
Who's this someone that just spin it and talk to him after the 10 races? I think it's a good, confident prediction.
Yeah, I think Max, Lando, George and Oscar are the top 3
Yeah.
drivers top 4 drivers that everyone is pretty confident about will be in top 3.
Okay, let's do one thing.
Yeah.
What do you think is
Yeah.
going to be the top 3 after 10? The exact top 3.
Lando, Norris,
Lando Norris is the same.
Lando, Oscar, George.
I think it's going to be Lando, Oscar, Max.
I think it's going to be Oscar, Max, and Lando.
I would love it if it would be Oscar, but I feel that they're going to favor Lando a little bit.
Forget about favouring. It's
Okay.
about Oscar doesn't mess it up that bad.
Yeah, he does.
But Lando does. He does a lot of mistakes.
I would also change mine to Oscar, Lando, Max.
You can't change.
No.
No.
Must have landed max for me.
No, it's landed
And now
max
I'm going to
for
do
me.
something.
No.
Okay, for y'all.
You want to dance?
It's my way of showing love to y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you make a spin like how Lawson spin?
Not right.
Jenny leaving you.
If I put the phone here, then you know what
Dude, why are you taking the phone?
Raise it up.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to. Think about it, Nico.
Wi-Fi. Oh, the British national anthem.
British?
Hey, sorry. Which one is this? Hi. I think this is the end of the podcast there. I think we're gonna edit this part out.
I'm missing ya.
Bye bye. See you.
Guys.
Take care.
Guys.
We are going.